you do not have to buy yet another pedal, because the Spice Box from BSM is actually not a pedal. It is a recreation reproduction of Blackmore's Master Tone Circuit, MTC for short, which is a little black box of electronics hidden behind his pickguard. So this is why I'm calling this a secret weapon, because you can't see it, you can only hear it. Now, it was created by the legendary Doc Stilwell, who started working for Blackmore, working on his guitar and his amps in, I think, 1975. And he was a really integral person shaping Blackmore's tone. Although I'm not exactly sure when he first put in the MTC in one of Blackmore's guitars, but I think it had to be in the late 70s. Unfortunately, Doc has passed away some years ago and he's obviously not making the MTC anymore, but fortunately BSM took the mantle with the Spice Box. I never had the opportunity to compare the two, so I'm not sure how good this Spice Box is compared to the MTC, but only hearing the Spice Box, I think it sounds great. And during this test, I came to realize that it is a very important element of Blackmore's tone. BSM recommends to connect or wire the Spice Box to both your volume and one of your tone controls, because it has two functions. On the volume is a treble bead, and on the tone it is a mid filter. Now, it's really important to note that this is a passive circuit, so it doesn't give anything to your circuit or your tone that's not already there. It is basically selecting, or helps you to select which frequencies to mute, to not let through. So on the volume, it is basically a high pass filter. So if you turn it down, it basically curbs your lows and mids and lets the high end through. Now on a regular Strat, if you turn down the volume, you will get a little bit darker, so you will lose treble, but not with the Spice Box. So that is a feature that we can hear Blackmore use. We heard Blackmore used a lot on shows. Now the mid filter I won't be able to demonstrate, but it works the same way. So if you turn down the volume, it will retain mids, but it will basically lose or dial down everything else. But I didn't wire it in properly, so I can't show you that, but let's see how the volume works. So let's see, if we turn down the volume, we should lose lows and mids, but we should retain the high end. So let's start with the volume on full 10. Now I think you can hear that you're losing the mids, you're losing the bass, but you keep the treble. It almost sounds like you have more treble on 9 or 8 than you have on 10, but like I said, it's a passive circuit, so it doesn't give you any extra treble. It just sounds like you have more treble because you have less mids and bass. And I think this is the exact reason why Blackmore wanted a mid filter for the tone control, to be able to add back some of the mids, because if you see how by turning down the volume you're losing the mids, it's basically making your sound a little weaker. So this is something we hear a lot on live shows. It's an integral part of Blackmore sound. But what is weird to me, now that I have been using or started using this guitar on rehearsals with a band, it is pretty funny because when the singer is singing in the verses and in the choruses, I like to turn my volume down just around 9 or 8 to give him more room. But with the Spice Box installed, I still cut through because I seem to have, it feels to me that I have more treble than on 10. So I still cut through, and it doesn't necessarily give that room for the singer sonically like I want. But this is just something I observed recently, and we'll see how it works on the long run. But I think it is very important to have the Spice Box. Now, the biggest question, does the Spice Box influence your tone when your volume is on full, so it's on 10? And I'm not sure. I kind of, from the sound test in this video, I kind of feel it does, but I'm not necessarily sure if I understand burned correctly, if it should be. But it kind of seems to me that it does. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Oh, and I only played on the bridge pickup. Let me show you the treble bead on the neck pickup as well. See, right there, it sounds like you have more treble. And you might have, but it's not anything that the Spice Box adds. It is just retains the natural amount of treble coming from your pickups, and it is basically covering or turning down in volume the mids and the bass.